Ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing development within the Durham Probe Special Counsel. You can look at the actual court documents, and it says, on April 19, 2022, the Special Counsel issued trial subpoenas to the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee and explained that the Special Counsel is requesting the testimony of witnesses regarding the assertion of attorney-client privilege in front of the jury. This was obtained by the Durham Probe Special Counsel because the Clinton campaign, the Democratic Party, said, well, we can't really give you any information on Fusion GPS or the tech executive or tech researchers that we paid, that we outsourced and hired to obtain lies, deceitful narratives, absurd nonsense, surveillance of Trump when he was first in the executive office of the president even. So they engaged in surveillance of Trump. According to the Central Intelligence Agency, they actually fabricated and utilized user-created data, the information that they didn't obtain through, deceptive surveillance, utilizing an existing contract from President Obama's administration to surveil an incoming president within the executive office of the president as far into his presidency as February of 2017 when he first became President Trump. Then they obtained information from Trump Tower, a healthcare provider, his apartment, and then the executive office of the president. And there are emails and text messages stating, hey, you know what? We're going to have to use every trick we have, every dirty trick that we have. It's within the Sussman indictment. And this is not going to fly in the face of scrutiny. So they knew what they were doing, and we have to appease VIPs. And so these people are basically conspiring, talking amongst themselves, saying, hey, we got to just find something we can do to weave in terms of a narrative against Trump. It really doesn't have to be accurate. It could be any truthful or factual information we obtain, and if we can then weave it into something nefarious by also creating some information, we can give that to the Federal Bureau of Investigation through Michael Sussman. Then, hopefully, they can investigate Trump, which is what happened. And then very early on, the agency said, well, you know what? Or that James Baker, that FBI's top legal counsel, stated, oh, okay, well, we found nothing. Well, he might not have stated that, but they found nothing. So they investigated Trump based on information obtained by people who were hired by the Clinton campaign and Democratic Party. This, by the way, is the latest development that Technofog, an attorney on Twitter. I don't have Twitter. I don't have Facebook. I don't like Twitter, but every once in a while, there's some pretty good profiles and developments in the Michael Sussman case. Special counsel John Durham has issued demands to the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee if they want to keep privileged Fusion GPS communications. They're going to have to do it under oath. So they're not going to be able. This is huge, by the way. Hit subscribe, by the way, to this channel. We're over 196,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. 196,000 subscribers because of you. I am so excited. We're almost at 200,000 subs. I didn't join any $20 million venture capital funded monstrosity, any network of channels. I didn't do that. I just did it all myself. Swimming upstream, by the way. It's not exactly extremely easy to go from Bernie Sanders 2016, which is a direct, in terms of what you want for the country, in a roundabout way, it's still a direct line to Trump and DeSantis in 2024 and 2 years earlier. So, and 2020. So, I want a great economy. I mean, I know there's something wrong with me. I want a great economy and a great foreign policy. We had that under Trump. We did. We didn't have, objectively, if you look, objectively, if you just remove ideological barriers, dogma, the 4 or 5 years of fabricated Trump-Russia hoaxes that tens of millions of people still believe. We had record low unemployment. We had the First Step Act. We had the Doha Agreement, Abraham Accords, first president to step foot in North Korea. These are achievements that President Obama didn't even achieve in 8 years. Certainly mashed potato brains hasn't achieved anything. He's done maybe one thing good. He's done one thing good. Other than that, it's a complete catastrophe. And we have runaway inflation that I talk about. Look, the 1,000 point drop in the Dow. I told everyone this was going to take place. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel below in the pinned comment. I have a segment right after that right after this channel in the Stock Market Crash channel. But you look objectively, Trump was not installed by another country. We had record low unemployment. We had inflation at around, 2%? Inflation is 8 to 9% now. Closer to 9%, but really closer to a lot. It's a lot higher than 9%, according to Peter Schiff and others. Gas prices are, $6 around the country, $6, $7. They say nationally it's about close to $5, but that's not. It's $4 to $5 nationally, but it's really a lot more than that, especially if you live in a major city and in either of the coasts. Or in New York and LA, I should say. You can look at what's taking place. The same people who said that Trump was installed by the Kremlin are the same people who are now blaming that country for oil prices and for inflation when it was their policy. So hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel and this channel below, and I have a segment prior to this explaining how it's just going to get worse and how I told everyone there's going to be a stock market crash and a financial collapse, and we're seeing that take place. But you can't hide behind attorney-client privilege if you are asking your attorney to do something. If you're asking your attorney to do something illegal or criminal or corrupt or unethical, you just can't hide behind attorney-client privilege, okay? When I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. You might think I'm nuts, but I want that for a number of reasons. But when Madam Secretary Clinton, when she deleted 33,000 emails, the Democrats and media, what they do is the following. They say, another country, Trump asked another country. He asked another country to undermine our democracy. Well, how did he do that? He asked them if they could find Clinton's emails. Well, why did she delete 33,000 emails without government oversight while she had top secret and special access program intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government? Then media and the smartest people in the room, the adults in the room, say, oh, private email. It's literally nothing to do with private email. Nothing. You can have private email even though you're not supposed to. As a government official, you can have private email. You just can't put top secret and special access program intelligence on the private email. My God almighty, it's so easy. The differences are so easy to understand. But see, everything is, they live in the people who truly believe the most conspiratorial nonsense, the greatest hoaxes and absurd myths are wonderful, highly educated, morally superior, always wonderful, but oftentimes apoplectic, liberal Democrats. They believe the most absurd lies. It's not the Trumpers. It's not the Trumpers who believe this or that. It's the liberal Democrats who believe that, Clinton just used private email. No. She used top secret intelligence. She had top secret intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government, where she was using her phone everywhere. Almost certainly the whole world has it. Even Comey acknowledged that. And then it's, Trump was installed by another country. No. The Clinton campaign and the Democratic Party actually hired Fusion GPS, Christopher Steele, Michael Sussman, all of these people to actually obtain data, to get that data into government agencies to get government agencies to investigate Trump based on an absurd, fabricated narrative where people were actually conspiring in their emails and messages to just frame and set up Trump. And then media, everybody from Mother Jones to the Washington Post, oh, well, this is amazing. The government is investigating an incoming candidate. Yeah, because the incoming candidate had surveillance of him by his opposition fed into the U.S. government. And then media is pretending, or either willful or ignorant, of what's taking place. Well, they knew. There are journalists in numerous left-leaning publications who knew that the government was being fed nonsense. Okay? There are journalists who knew that James Baker was being fed nonsense by Michael Sussman to get him to investigate Donald Trump. So they knew this. And now you have the Clinton campaign and the Democratic Party being forced to testify under oath if indeed they want to just pretend that that all of this is attorney-client privilege. Well, then you're going to have to, under oath, basically lie. The whole point is that they're going to, I guess the assumption I'm trying to, I'm hoping everyone makes, which I'm sure everyone will make when they watch this segment, is, well, of course they won't go under oath, because they would then have to lie about the 1,455 pages being, the 1,455 pages being attorney-client privilege. Only 18, by the way, have to do with attorneys talking to anybody. And so they have this elaborate scheme. Like when you see these New York Times or Washington Post journalists or CNN or MSNBC, well, the CNN, MSNBC, they don't even really care at all. But there are journalists out there that really want to be objective, or they claim to be objective, and they say, well, the Inspector General found that there was no bias. Well, the Inspector General did not read the indictments here. All the information, even the Inspector General had enough information to determine that they were biased against Trump, with Peter Strzok saying, we'll stop Trump. And then even the Inspector General acknowledged that there could have been bias with Peter Strzok. It took him a long time, but he had to acknowledge that Peter Strzok was biased. But if you add Peter Strzok to all the indictments now, and the fact that the information was being fed to government agencies, so the belief among government and media is, well, there was a real fear that Trump could have been influenced by another country to run and win the presidency. That's also part of the egotistical, narcissistic nature of D.C. How could Trump have won? He must have been installed by another country. I mean, Clinton is a lifelong politician, and she should have won. Well, wait a second. Every model and all the smartest people and all the posters said Clinton would win, except H.A. Goodman was telling the whole world Clinton would lose to Trump. Told everybody. Just like I told everybody there's going to be a stock market crash. We're seeing it. And the devastating financial collapse, we're seeing the beginning of that. I told everyone that in the Federalist below. Read that article and subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. But they just go ahead and they fabricate these myths, and you have the wonderful, highly educated, morally superior, really wonderful liberal Democrats, almost always apoplectic. If you don't listen to them, if you don't abide by everything they say, the sky's going to fall, it's going to be harmful, And now we see runaway inflation, skyrocketing energy costs. We're heading into a recession, geopolitical nightmare in Europe. We're now finding out, we already knew, but they set up and framed Trump. The Durham probe special counsel indicted 3 people thus far, and they're going to indict a lot more people. And none of these wonderful adults in the room are going to actually read the indictments and correlate and maybe form some suspicion as to why Trump was investigated, because to them it is a definite, set in stone myth. It's not even a myth. It's like a part of U.S. history that is a fact that Russia interfered to help Trump. That never happened. Not one person looked at a Facebook ad and said, "Oh, I'm going to vote for Trump over Clinton." It never happened. The intel community that Democrats worship so much came up with a high to moderate confidence assessment, and then Richard Burr at the Senate Intel Committee backed the moderate to high confidence assessment. So the Senate simply backed a high to moderate confidence assessment. Anyway, we can go on forever. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel below in the pinned comment. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for helping us get to 196,000 subs. And I say us because you watch this channel, you're a part of this channel. I appreciate it. To my members of this channel, thank you. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. You can give me a super thanks. That's in between the like and the share buttons below. Thank you so very much. I'll be back in about an hour.